Dodgers. Colorado looking for a sweep. Well, it's no secret that pitching was in the spotlight during the month of June for the Rockies, whether it was the bullpen woes or the way the starting rotation has ended things here at Dodger Stadium the last 2 nights. But Jon Gray also making some headlines as the Rockies have officially sent him down to AAA. He was optioned yesterday to Albuquerque, a 7-7 record with a 5.77 ERA so far this season. They recalled Raimel Tapia in his absence. He will be starting in center field today for Colorado. As for Jon, the numbers are glaring and quite confusing. 11.6 strikeouts per 9. That's the good news, but he also leads the National League in games started at 17, leading the National League in hits allowed, 108 of them, and also 59 earned runs. Inconsistency and frustration have been the name of the game, and that's why Bud Black said a move needed to be made.
It's a performance-based decision that, you know, Jon has shown some inconsistencies throughout the season. We've seen Jon really outstanding, and we've seen Jon struggle. So I think, you know, this send-down is such will help Jon maybe get some of those inconsistencies out of his game, get him in AAA. There's some minor mechanical things that, you know, he's gonna work on that he's not going down to work on really anything specific mechanics-wise or anything with his pitches. It's about, you know, for me, stringing together consistently pitch one to the last pitch he throws.
So as some of that mental work for Jon Gray begins, the Rockies will have to turn to their 6th starter of the season for the first time on game number 86 coming up on Tuesday. All signs point to the likelihood that Antonio Senzatella will be recalled from AAA to make that start. We have baseball to be played here at Dodger Stadium. Again, Rockies looking to sweep LA. They could do that behind Chad Bettis and his great road record next.
You won't see it for long. Pretty Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles, California. And you know, there'll be a big crowd filing into Dodger Stadium. The Rockies trying to sweep the Dodgers as they won 3-1 yesterday. And the day before they won 3-1. Over the Dodgers. The story has been outstanding pitching For Colorado, their starters have gone 8 innings in each of the last 2. With a victory today, they return to 500. DJ LeMahieu will be atop the Rockies lineup today against the aforementioned Ross Stripling. Here's the Southwest batting order. Charlie Blackmon celebrating his 32nd birthday today, but he gets the day off. It'll be Gerardo Parra in that 2-hole. Then it's Nolan Cargo and Trevor Story in the middle. Ian Desmond hit his 17th yesterday. 13 of those have come out on the road. That's a new career high for Desi. Raimel Tapia, just brought up yesterday. He'll start in center field for Charlie. Tom Murphy will be behind the plate, and then Chad Bettis. Ross Stripling is a true 4-pitch pitcher. He utilizes fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and you definitely will see all 4.
What's interesting about Ross Stripling was when he was in high school, he was a multi-sport star, and he broke his leg prior to his senior year in high school. He learned how to pitch, putting a brace on his back leg, so he actually creates quite an angle on how he throws. It's almost downhill.
Well, you want to be aggressive, and it'll be interesting to see if the Rockies are that as part of their game plan against Stripling. The reason I say that is 71% of his opening pitches to a hitter are in the strike zone. That is second in all of baseball. So if you don't want to get to slider, changeup, curveball, typically the best way to do that is attack him early in the count. Here's the 1-1, and that's off the plate, 2-1. The Rockies have seen him really just in small bits. He is 1-1 lifetime with a 189 against Colorado. 9 appearances, 2 starts, but one of those starts, as this is popped up and should get out of play, and it will. One of those starts was last year when the Dodgers had quote-unquote a bullpen day against the Rockies. So Stripling started, I put that in air quotes, but pitched only 2 innings. He has only 1 true start against Colorado.
And even this year, when you're looking at his starts, there's only 1 game where he threw 7 innings. He's been lasting less than 7 innings, the majority of it.
Well, last year, he came out of the bullpen 47 games as he gets the strikeout on DJ and made only 2 starts, and of course one of those was just the 2-inning affair. So a different role so far this year for Stripling, though early on he was also coming out of the bullpen. 1 out as you take a look at the defenders for the Dodgers. Kemp, Peterson in center, Puig to his right, and Max Muncy, really a corner guy. He's playing second base. They've done that of late to get his bat in the lineup, and you know how good he has swung it this year. And of course Logan Forsythe, unfortunately for Forsythe, he's gone the other direction.
Yeah, Logan Forsythe has not been what the Dodgers hoped for when they traded away a prospect to get him. They were hoping for a second baseman that was an all-star caliber player, which is what he was in Tampa Bay, and he's not been anywhere near that. And to have a backup plan be Max Muncy, pretty incredible for the Dodgers. It's like Ross Stripling.
You have to have good stories, Billy. We were talking about it on Friday night. Any team that is going to have success over 162 has to have some unexpected positive stories. For the Dodgers, Stripling and Muncy are 2 of them. And that is a line drive base hit the other way. So Parra with 1 out reaches as he shot that over the head of Turner. Parra just keeps on swinging the bat, doesn't he?
I love where Gerardo Parra has been this year. He's been so short with his swing. You can see it on the Subaru Supermore. This is a pitch middle in, and it's up, and he's able to pull his hands inside, just put the barrel on the ball, and find a hole.
Well, Spilly, one of the guys that has some experience with Ross Stripling's coming to the plate right now. 8 at-bats against Stripling, 4 hits for Nolan. Hit a home run on Friday night. Rockies hit 3 solos Friday night. First pitch is inside, ball 1. He's rode Tyler Anderson, and this gave him a little more separation from the Dodgers. Boleka hit the first. Arenado hit the second that night. Chris Iannetta hit the 3rd solo home run. And a good swing there, fouled off, got a center cut fastball.
Well, looking at Ross Stripling's numbers, and you already mentioned the first 2 pitches, be extremely aggressive with them. Because if you look at strikeouts per 9, it's over a 10, walks per 9, under a 2. Whenever you have a less than 2 walks per 9 with over 10 strikeouts per 9, you're in elite conversation. And I love that you talk about having good stories, and I mean it tongue-in-cheek with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have an entire lineup from Alex Woods to the Matt Kemps to the Max Muncies and the Chris Taylors and of great stories. I think they're the luckiest team in baseball, tongue-in-cheek.
2-1. Well, there's a line in sports, especially when it comes to the postseason. Your best players, frequently uttered in hockey, your best players have to be the best players on the ice that night. Well, it's true over the course of the season in baseball, but you have to have some other things going on. You know, I'll give you one for the Rockies this year. Adam Ottavino's had a nice career. He's coming off probably the worst season of his career, so there's uncertainty as to what you are going to get this year. And he's had an all-star first half. That's been a great story.
But we're talking Justin Turner was designated for assignment, can go down as one of the top 3 to 5 third basemen in the game. Chris Taylor had 1 home run prior to coming here. He was an all-star, hit 21 home runs last year.
Kike Hernandez this year.
Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy. I mean, like.
Back up the middle, knocked down, and they're going to end up turning this over. Dribbling knocked down, the hard ground ball by Nolan, and it turns into a 1-6-3 double play. Actually, let me correct that, a 1-4-3 double play. On a pretty Sunday in Tinseltown. That is Chris Taylor. He's getting ready to go against the Rockies veteran right-hander, Chad Bettis. It'll be start number 17 for Chad, 5-1 record, and out on the road. He has been particularly good, one of the top ERAs in the National League among starters out on the road. Taylor, Muncy, and Turner here in the first inning. And the fastball on the outside corner is right there at 90 miles an hour as we check the arsenal for Chad.
Well, Chad Bettis went 6 1/3 in San Francisco, was using his changeup extremely effectively. You see 4 pitches, but the changeup is his best secondary pitch. He'll go to it at any moment in the count. Pizza Ranch for the win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch, and pretty obvious, continue the streak. The last 2 starters have gone 8 innings. I'd love to see that again. Think you can get 3 in a row?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Why not?
Me too.
These things start to bunch themselves together. We've talked about the momentum. You know, Chad, he watched closely as to what Herman did yesterday and Tyler on Friday. That's what the Rockies did earlier this year when that rotation went through 2 times in a row and everybody was carrying their weight and had special outings. And the Rockies won a whole lot of ball games during that stretch. 2-2 on Chris Taylor. Look out. So Taylor gets plunked. Take a look at the batting order for Dave Roberts this afternoon. Max Muncy will bat in that 2 spot, and then it's Turner. Matt Kemp, who's slumped in the latter part of June, he still comes in with a .303 average. Cody Bellinger, Yasiel Puig 5 and 6. Jock Peterson had a big June in terms of home runs. Austin Barnes will bat 8th, and then Stripling. Notice that Turner in particular has had good numbers against Chad Bettis, and the guy at the plate, Muncy, doesn't have a lot of at-bats against Chad, but he has 2 home runs.
The Dodgers team approach is fascinating when you start digging into it. Second in baseball, first pitch swinging. So they swing at a very high rate early in the count, but then they're one of the best at not chasing outside the strike zone.
Well, they didn't get a chase there on the inside corner, so it's 2-0 on Muncy. 2 West Texas guys. Chad, of course, from Lubbock, went to Texas Tech. Muncy is from Midland, Texas, and he went to Baylor. 3-0.
And we've seen Chad struggle with command in the first inning as he tries to find the field for his changeup. Trying to get him to settle down, figure out what pitches work for him on that day.
And a 4-pitch walk to Muncy. And now you have traffic here with nobody out. And Justin Turner coming up.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
Here's the Rockies defensively. Again, Charlie's getting the day off, so Raimel Tapia called up for the first time this year. He's got plenty of big league experience the last 2 years. He'll be in center field. Parra and Gonzalez flanking. The infield's what you'd expect, and Tommy Murphy is doing the catching. See if Chad can get a ground ball here with Turner. Turner made the final out of the ball game yesterday against Adam Ottavino. Otto got the save, worked the 9th inning. With a man aboard, he had a high fly ball to fairly deep left field. Never really put a scare, I don't think, in the Rockies dugout as he was caught a couple of steps in front of the track. Turner did hit a 9th inning home run on Friday. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Dodgers weathered the storm without their 3-hole hitter for more than a month this year. This is in the air to deep center field. Tapia will have room. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Taylor, also tagging is Muncy. And
the Rockies might have a challenge here because Tapia did not catch the ball clean. So they're going to probably challenge at second base. We'll see what happens.
Challenge both. Let's see if
he does not catch it clean.
Whoa.
The runners have already left.
I had turned my head to look at Muncy at first to see if he was going to tag. Wow.
So they're going to.
You got to appeal both. You may end up with a triple play here.
Oh, look at that. He's already gone.
He hasn't secured it yet.
Secured it.
This should be, honestly, this is going to be one of the strangest triple plays you've ever seen, I would think.
So they're going to step off. Are they not?
They're not. Wow. He's left. The ball's not caught yet. Now the question is, we have the luxury of watching it up close because of our cameras. Could they tell from the dugout? You know, they're close to 400 feet away. Honestly, that would have been, because you have to secure it. This is slowly hit to Desmond. Is he going to come home with it? Nope. Now he'll get a run home. Kemp grounds out. Or is the rule, and I'm not sure because I've never seen it, is the rules once it touches leather and
I don't know.
Then you can go because he didn't drop the baseball.
A broken bat for Matt Kemp. He punches the ball into play. He's actually trying to get it through the right side of the infield because DJ was playing behind second base. But he'll take the run. Veteran hitter getting that RBI, his 48th on the season.
And maybe that must be it, Spilly, that he didn't drop the baseball. So as soon as it touches leather, you can go, even though he didn't secure it until, you know, 0.5 of a second later. That has to be it. They'll get the Rockies to the dugout. They give up a run. And Rondell Tapia will have a story to tell. 1-0 LA. Country in your hometown Toyota stores and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. We had an interesting play a moment ago, and the rule is, and it makes sense if you think about this, that once it contacts leather, that constitutes a catch. Cargo takes ball one because then you can somewhat intentionally
you can
bobble it. So once it contacted leather, Taylor and Muncy could move up. And this is a base hit through the right side, sharply hit by Cargo. So tying run aboard here in the top of the second. And that's why the Rockies
Shortstop number 27, Trevor
didn't challenge
Story.
it. And I'm sure even from 400 feet away, you can tell what was happening there. And obviously, Brian Jones inside has the luxury of looking at it on video, and that is why the Rockies. So we jumped to a conclusion that was erroneous, and we apologize.
I don't apologize for it.
Well, I'm apologizing for you. Trevor hitting .274, and on this road trip, he's 8 for 19. He's been the Rockies' leading hitter on the road trip. And as we have said now a number of times, really since the calendar moved from April into May, he has been out of this world good. And I would expect in a couple of weeks he'll be in Washington, D.C. for the All-Star game. If not, that would
First baseman number 20, Ian Desmond.
This on the tag, he tries to swipe up, see if he can pull Cargo's hand off the bag, which you're allowed to do. Isn't quality baseball fun to watch? See a guy goes first to third on a single to left field because the fielder fielded on the backhand. And then Ian Desmond not trying to do too much, just punch the ball and play, moving both runners, get an RBI.
It's the way the game ought to be played. Infield comes in now with one out. Tapia look for something up. That pitch was up, but too far up. You may notice with Rymel, before there's two strikes, especially, he's more upright. And that's by design. Worked on it this year in Albuquerque. Feels like he's getting a little more power that way. Hit 8 home runs in Albuquerque, leading the PCL in doubles with 25. 74 games, hitting .308 down there. Leading the PCL with 61 runs scored. Also 18 stolen bases. I have a lot of respect, and I know you do too, Spilly, and the organization does, for Rymel Tapia. He shows up with his game face on every day at whatever level he's assigned to.
Well, and the other aspect is look at what he did this offseason. One of the knocks on Rymel is that he needed to put on some weight, get a little stronger, and he did that.
And a 4-pitch walk to Tapia. It was kind of a pitch around with, even though Tapia
Tom Murphy.
doesn't have big league experience this year, you set up a force all the way around. You have Murphy coming up with the pitcher behind him. And Stripling has spent a lot of time watching how Clayton Kershaw, when he is in that rare pickle, will figure a way out of it.
Well, and Stripling's been so good with runners in scoring position, 123 batting average against him.
Now, even though he's quick to the plate, you wonder if the Rockies at some point will try to get Tapia to second here. Murphy swings and misses at a pitch up. Yeah, you were saying how good he's been with runners in scoring position. 123, third best in Major League Baseball. Blake Snell's better, Max Scherzer better. Really good group to be involved with. Gio Gonzalez, kind of underrated, unheralded with Washington, terrific pitcher, and of course DeGrom.
And just looking at some of the numbers, some of the splits for Ross Stripling, yeah, he's been very difficult on righties, but he's been equally difficult on lefties. And when you have him in a situation like this, he really wants to focus on his curveball. That's his wipeout pitch.
Fastball twice, and Murphy Unable to catch up, so it's 0-2. That's a strikeout, and the ball was not secured by Barnes. Tapia read that and moved up. So now it'll take a 2-out
Pitcher number 35,
base hit from
Manfred.
Chad Bettis.
And Stripling just challenged Murphy above the belt. Fastballs, 3 straight. Wasted no time.
That's a strike. And strike 2.
The Rockies were able to get a run yesterday on a wild pitch when Nolan Arenado struck out. It was a pass ball. Kind of hoping for something similar.
Well, Story's going to be really aggressive here. If the ball kicks away, even a somewhat minimal margin with Bettis at the plate 1 and 2, you can see him barreling down the line. And Chad strikes out. Rockies get a run. Would have loved to have scored Story, who was at third. Did not happen. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the second.
Rockies and Dodgers. Chad Bettis started this road trip back in San Francisco with a no decision. It was a game that the Rockies ended up losing. But let's look at the rotation and how well they've done. We'll take John Gray out of that since he was sent down to AAA Albuquerque after his 4-inning start. The Rockies did win that game on Thursday. Wednesday, though, the game before, Kyle Freeland in that no decision, a 1-run game. that the Rockies lost on a walk-off. Fast forward to this weekend here at Dodger Stadium. Tyler Anderson, German Marquez, both 8 innings of work. 1 run only allowed for Marquez yesterday, both of those wins. So the Rockies rotation is rolling, and for Kyle Freeland, who will get the baseball tomorrow at home, he enjoys watching his rotation mates work.
It instills confidence in us, and knowing that we're able to do that against lineups like the Dodgers, it's exciting to see, and we kind of feed off each other.
It's the pass the baton mentality, and we actually saw this from the rotation towards the end of April heading into May. In fact, Freeland said as a group collectively, they decided on the motto, April showers bring May powers. So I'm going to ask you guys, what does June swoon bring? Perhaps July boom?
Yeah, it works for me. You thought about it. I didn't think about it. I like that.
I just rhymed. I don't know.
Usually I call it June ruin because I like how the ends work. July fly? I don't know.
Yes, there you go, Spilly. We'll go with that.
You're going to go with that?
July fly.
No, I like yours better, Jenny.
Yeah, yours is better.
June boom. July boom.
Because of the fireworks?
Yeah, because it rhymes with swoon. You know, if you have a June swoon, then you have a July boom.
Yeah, but the oon and the kind of want them to match up.
Okay, well, I was going with like the April showers, May powers. You just talk amongst yourselves. I'm sure you'll come up with something by the end of the inning.
3-1 is hit to center field and deep, but caught out there by Tapia. This time he catches it cleanly. Puig is retired, 1 out in the second in a 1-1 ball game. That'll bring up Jock Peterson. Fans join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, comments, photos. Use Twitter, include the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Spill, you got to run home to Santa Barbara yesterday, and I understand there was a ticker tape parade upon your arrival. How did that go?
It was great. You know, you get put on this parade, on this float, and you just, wave to all the people.
Do the Queen wave.
Yeah, you do the Queen wave, and people go, who is that?
Yeah, right down State Street, Santa Barbara,
right? Down State Street.
Pop's doing good?
Family's doing great.
Well,
yep.
Speak proper English. Good one.
My sister's daughter, Kinley, huge Rockies fan.
Good for her.
Huge Rockies
She's being raised right.
She is being raised right. It is her nap time, so when she wakes up, it'll probably be around the 4th inning.
That's okay. It's got like Uncle, like
Uncle Joe.
I was actually referring to her real uncle. There's a strike. 2-1.
I will tell you, driving down the 101 on a Sunday morning,
Pleasant.
It's extremely enjoyable.
Driving down the 101 on a Friday about 4 o'clock, not so pleasant.
Anti-fun.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Jock Peterson. He's from Northern California, Palo Alto High School. Right literally across the street from Stanford. Fouled off.
I think I've shared this story with you before about Oral Hershiser, and I grew up a huge fan of baseball.
You like baseball?
I love baseball, and I love the Dodgers growing up.
Share that comment. Well, not the Dodgers.
My mom, she brought me to a game on a Sunday because it was the best time to drive. And Oral Hershiser is throwing a bullpen in the Dodgers bullpen, which is down the left field line. And so we're standing by the left field line. As Oral's finishing up, my mom yells at him because I wouldn't speak up, which is a shock to you probably. Oral, do you mind signing a baseball for my son? And he did it. That ball is in my trophy case at home.
Oral stopped by, had a little bite to eat with us very quickly today. Have you told him that story before?
I think I've told him that story before about how he was one of the first autographs I ever got. That's cool.
He was good.
He was great. Bulldog.
And it's punched the other way by Peterson. That is the first hit for the Dodgers. And that'll bring up Austin Barnes.
The Rockies using the shift, so the entire left side of the field is vacated other than where Nolan was standing. And Jock just grinding the at-bat, going opposite field. One of the few Dodgers that you'll see that will shorten up the swing on occasion. The Dodgers, we talked about this earlier, their approach is different than other teams. They're going to command the strike zone, and they're going to swing as hard as they can. Virtually every swing that they throw.
Much of their damage from the home run perspective in June was done in the first half of the month. Of course, they had that 7 home run game against the Mets, 7 solo home runs. But do you think they almost became too enamored with the long ball after hitting 55 of them? You know, and the reason I bring that up, there's some people within the Dodger organization, because they've scuffled a little bit more the last 10, 12 days, that thinks that may be the case.
It's hard to hit home runs. It's not like it's easy. You have to have, number one, you have to have the pitch. You have to have a bad pitch. It's not like you hit really good pitchers' pitches for homers. You hit mistakes.
1-1 on Barnes, and now 1-2 on Barnes. And here's what we're talking about. The Dodgers with a club record 55 home runs in June. They hit 56 the first 2+ months of the season. Justin Turner hasn't hit many yet. He's had 5. Again, he's been hurt. Peterson, Muncy. And there's a strikeout and a big one there of Austin Barnes. The reason I say it's big, because now there's 2 outs and the pitcher comes up.
68.
Gives you a chance to move on quickly, hopefully.
Well, the Subaru Supermo, that's a really well-spun off-speed pitch. Can't tell if that was the curveball or slider, just because it had the rotation of slider, but had good downward movement. Stripling was a high school infielder prior to getting hurt, as I mentioned in the open, with some multi-sport star, broke his leg, and then learned to pitch because of that, because he couldn't play the infield. So it was a good break.
So to speak, 2-0. Ross Stripling was originally, I shouldn't say originally, but I guess it would work, but his junior year at Texas A&M was drafted after his junior year by the Colorado Rockies, and not a one of those late picks. He was drafted in the 9th round by the Rockies. And Rockies and Stripling unable to work out a deal, and so he went back into the draft. This could be a tough play
For everybody else.
For everybody else. Stripling out by a full stride. That's a gorgeous play by Trevor Story to get Stripling. More on Stripling's draft by the Rockies a little bit later on. Rockies at Dodgers tied at 1 as we go to the 3rd.
Weeks away from the All-Star game, and today Dave Roberts announcing his staff. He will, of course, be the manager after the Dodgers won the National League pennant, and he has invited Dave Martinez from the Nationals, and Bud Black, the Rockies manager, along with him. Of course, we all know Dave Roberts and Bud Black go way back. They're very good friends. And in fact, this is the moment that Dave Roberts asked Bud Black to be a part of that staff for the All-Star game. They were waiting around to hear who won the National League Manager of the Year. Of course, that went to their counterpart over in Arizona. But while they were hanging out, he leaned over and said, "Buddy, what are you doing for All-Star break?" Those are coveted days for a manager in the middle of the grind in the season. But he said, "Man, you got to go with me. You got to go." So Buddy finally said, "Okay, I'll go." But Spilly, I liked your question. You asked if, he kind of asked him like a prom date, right? Did anything big. He just did it over lounge chairs waiting to hear if either one of them won National League Manager of the Year.
I was hoping for a card or maybe one of those airplanes that can ride it out in the sky.
Maybe he wrote it on his car in shaving cream or something.
Do you remember how you were asked to prom? Was there like a special story behind it?
My brother's friend asked me to prom, and he came to the house with a rose. It was pretty low-key.
I wonder if Dave Roberts could have asked Buddy with a rose.
Maybe he did, all Bachelor style. Will you accept this rose to the All-Star game?
DJ LeMahieu at the plate as Dave Roberts looks on at the Rockies All-Star second baseman. DJ leading it off against Stripling. So again, Stripling went back. He was drafted in the 9th round after his junior year by the Rockies. To finish that story, decided to go back to Texas A&M, and after his senior year went in the 5th round to the Dodgers. This ball sharply hit through the left side, and the Rockies, for the 2nd straight inning, a leadoff single, and that'll bring up Gerardo Parra. Parra had a base hit in the 1st inning. Rockies with 4 singles already against Stripling. Gerardo taking a peek at third base, see where Turner's playing. Turner is on the grass trying to safeguard against that bunt from Gerardo. We always talk about scouting reports on pitchers and how they will scout hitters and weakness and so forth. You have to be aware, if you're an infielder, especially a corner infielder, who bunts.
It's a bit of a lost art. I mean, there's just aspects of the game that is slowly fading.
This ball is roped toward the gap in left center field. Touch and run. It'll go all the way to the wall. DJ picking up Stu Cole, and he'll get a stop sign at third on a double by Parra. And the Rockies right back in business offensively.
Number 28, Nolan Arenado.
Parra's 2 for 2.
The Rockies' confidence is just starting to gain traction, because you look back to the game on Thursday. DJ basically putting the team on his back, to now the pitchers throwing the team on the back. And now you're watching this offense that's going first to third constantly, giving you these quality, lengthy at-bats. It's nice to see the Rockies playing this style of baseball against a team that has been playing very well.
Team's won 5 straight National League West titles. Here's the RBI hog, Arenado. And he takes ball 1. They check it out at first base with Ryan Addington. Lance Barksdale's behind home plate today. Brian Gorman is at second, Will Little at third. Nolan hit the ball hard, but right back at Stripling. He knocked it down and was able to turn a 1-4-3 double play in the first. And Nolan is going to get a run home here. So it's not sexy, but the Rockies take a 2-1 lead, and both runs have scored on RBI groundouts. Desmond and now Nolan. That's RBI number 58. He just tied Trevor Story for the club lead. Among the major league leaders in ribbies as well. Here comes Cargo. He had a sharp single to right last inning to begin the second. Cargo fouls that pitch off. And Cargo has feasted like few on Dodger pitching throughout his career, because you always think of the Dodgers, it always begins with pitching, right? Tough place to come and hit Dodger Stadium. They've had a long line of great starters, but Cargo, 24 home runs in his career. Total of 81 RBIs. He slugged .534 against him in his career. All of those either at or near the top of the charts. Parra with a big move up there.
That's great.
He read the dirt ball, and now you force the Dodgers perhaps to pull the infield in again.
I love it, because if you look back to Nolan's ground out to short, he wasn't able to move up, and taking an opportunity, he reads the ball in the dirt, and at second base, it's one of the better spots to read how the pitch is moving. Sees it, takes a chance, slides to the outside part of the bag. I love aggressive base running. I love it. Hopefully it pays off for the Rockies.
Well, they do bring the infield in. There's 3 on the right side. And Cargo pulls it down the line, and Bellinger gets the out. Parra had to hold. A great play by Cody Bellinger to save a run, at least for the moment.
It's a step and a dive for Cody Bellinger. He's a great athlete at first base. Think about a guy that can play center field at first. Very few can do it. It's a great backhanded play. There's not much that Gerardo could do. There's no way he would have been able to.
Would have been a double play.
Would have been a double play.
Story with a sharp single to left his first time. Looking for a 2-out RBI. Story single in the first, his 9th hit on this road trip. 9 for 20. Outside, 1-1. Dodger Stadium, a notorious pitcher's park, but during the day, you see some balls fly out of here.
So you're mentioning how good the Dodgers rotation typically is, or pitching is here at Dodger Stadium. And just think about this as a rotation. You know, they limit walks better than anybody. They strike out people as well as anybody.
Well, because of that, those two stats, strikeout to walk ratio, they're #1 in baseball with their starters. Better than 3-to-1 ratio. The Rockies aren't bad. The Rockies are 9th among their rotation, and a good portion of that is John Gray. And of course, that hasn't translated, unfortunately, in terms of consistency this year with John. Like the high ERA. Outside, Story walked to that outside corner. It's 3-2. And if you missed it somehow yesterday, and Jenny did a piece on it today, obviously yesterday was a nationally televised game on Fox. The Rockies did send John down to Albuquerque. Raimel Tapia is up right now. Senzatella will make that next start on Tuesday. This ball is in the air down the right field line. Long run for Puig. Can't get there. It's fair. It'll be a ground rule double, and the Rockies take a 3-to-1 lead. Found a little spot in that right field corner. And it just goes back to something we always talk about. You get the ball in play, you never know.
And for Trevor, just the type of at bat that he's putting together. This is, again, 2 strikes. Ross Stripling comes into the game with the strikeouts per 9, well over 10. Subaru Super Mode just getting away from Yasiel Puig, and line to line for Trevor Story. He's figuring out that he does not need to pull the baseball. That hard up the middle is great, but there's plenty of hits being late as long as that bat path is in the zone.
23 doubles now for Story, leads the club. Here's Desmond. There's a strike. With 23 doubles, he's tied for third most in the National League coming into today. Ozzy Albies has 27. His teammate Nick Markakis with 26. And then it's Anthony Rendon, Matt Carpenter, and Trevor Story. And that's in there also. 0-2. We didn't show you Desi's home run from yesterday. This thing was blitzed. Maeda, a slider, and a line shot home run. That's the kind of home run that Desi hits. He doesn't hit high, majestic fly balls. Most of them are bullets. 17 of them so far this year. He's on a career high pace. I mean, despite that poor start, Desi's on pace to hit 30+ home runs and drive in 90 to 100. And he does not hit third or fourth in your lineup, and he doesn't typically hit fifth. I mean, he's hit fifth before, but he's usually sixth or seventh in the lineup. So the Rockies getting a ton of production now out of Ian Desmond. They're going to run with an RBI ground out his first time up. Trying to drive in Story with 2 outs. And that's a wise decision on that dirt ball not to try to move up because there's 2 outs.
On the way the ball kicks off, Austin Barnes just knocks it off towards the third base side, and even if Trevor was to go, that's a much shorter throw. Maybe to the right, first base side. Now it forces him to make a stronger throw across his body. He might take a chance.
2-2 back in the count.
And this is the biggest difference we've noticed with Ian, is that with 2 strikes, he's not expanding. He doesn't. There was a stretch where 2 strikes, he was swinging at anything.
He's seen the baseball so much better.
So much better.
The bat slows down, doesn't it? Desmond did that the correct way. Every once in a while, you'll see a player, even at the amateur level, just step out of the box, call time, step out. That has to be granted. Or take their hand off the bat.
Right.
Concerned that Story's been out there, a middle infielder, for a while. So this looks like we're changing the signs up. 2 runs in here in the third. Story at second. 2-2 count on Desmond. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Two, and this is pulled toward the hole, and a diving stop to save a run by Taylor. It'll be a hit for Desmond. Obviously, if that gets past him, Story will score.
Number 15, Raimel Tapia.
Well, the approach for Ian Desmond, fantastic. He grinded with Ross Stripling. He didn't get a pitch that was out of the strike zone that he felt like chasing. Finally gets one in the zone and puts it in play. Great play by Chris Taylor. Shortstop by trade. Dodgers have used him in multiple positions, but he has played a very good shortstop since Seager got hurt.
So here's Tapia. He walked on 4 pitches his first time up. First big league game in 2018 for Raimel. Swung at a pitch that was well inside, so it's 0-1. That was, I'm going to hit a 3-run home run swing. Get it out of your system early in the count.
Yeah, I'll take that. No harm, no foul.
And this is out of play.
Well, if you think back to the offense of this inning, from Trevor to Ian Desmond's last at bats, even Gerardo Parra, short swings, opposite field, sometimes with 2 strikes.
So Ron Bell not as pronounced to Crouch. We're talking about that. 0-2, runner goes, swung on and missed, and that'll end the inning. The Rockies get 2 on 4 hits. They take a 3-1 lead in the middle of the 3rd in Los Angeles. What makes a Subaru a Subaru? By StubHub. Rockies fans, get your tickets at StubHub, official partner of the Colorado Rockies. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Rockies trying to sweep the Dodgers in LA. And if they're able to pull it off, they have a 3-1 lead right now. They'd return themselves to 500 at 42-42. Curveball misses, ball 1 on Chris Taylor. Top of the order for the Dodgers here in the 3rd. Taylor was hit by a 2-2 pitch his first time up and would come around to score on an RBI ground out by Matt Kemp. 3 of the runs today, 3 of the 4 runs have been scored on ground outs in the infield. 2-0 on Taylor. He's a product of the University of Virginia. And this is in the air to center field. Tapia started back, will come in and make the catch. The
Number
Rockies
13,
last
Max
year enjoyed a 4-day visit to LA when they swept the Dodgers in September. Spilly was a part of that famous sweep. So was Corey with the great throw to the plate in September of 2007 when the Rockies took 3 here. That's the last time the Rockies swept the Dodgers in a 3-game series. And back in '93, surprisingly, because the Rockies were such a young club, they had a 4-game sweep here, led by the Big Cat, I'm sure. Muncy walked on 4 pitches his first time, and he's seen 6 balls now. Muncy, 2 home runs and 6 at bats against Chad. Three and 0. Muncy last year spent the entire year at Oklahoma City.
Isn't that amazing?
He had a fine year. He hit .309 with 20 doubles, hit 12 homers, drove in 44 in 109 games. And now, in 60 games in the big leagues a year later, he's hit 17 home runs. Think about that.
His swing reminds me so much of Scooter Gennett with the Cincinnati Reds. Very similar with, when you watch his back foot, he'll let it release backwards after the swing.
Once he walks again.
Number
Bring
10,
up Justin
Justin
Turner.
Turner.
He had a fly ball to deep center that moved up Taylor at Muncie, and it was almost dropped by Ronmel Tapia. Who else had a juggling catch recently? It was DJ on a pop-up, wasn't it?
That was a great
Foul
one.
ground.
That was a great one. Is that in San Francisco? No, that was at Coors Field.
Ball and a strike as Turner looks down to Chris Woodward. Two and one. There at the bottom of the zone. 2 and 2.
Well, for Chad, he has not been able to establish the good changeup quite yet.
And a strikeout at Turner.
Just as I mentioned, he's able to throw his best off speed of the afternoon.
Number 27,
Changeup.
Matt Cassidy.
Caught him out in front. Great pitch by Chad Bettis to get Turner out in front. It really comes down to selling the arm action with the changeup. It's something that Chad's been working on. It's very similar to somebody like a knuckleball pitcher, the feel for a changeup, because it really forces you to put the ball in the hand, and it's a different grip than a lot of pitchers are comfortable feeling.
And he has one of the better ones in baseball. There's the 0-1 on Kemp. And that is lined to the left field corner. Muncie not particularly fast, and he's going to get a green light. See if the Rockies can get him at the plate. Throw is not going to get him. And it's 3-2.
Well, Kemp has been doing it all for the Dodgers, just providing that bat in the middle of the lineup when Justin Turner was down. Gerardo gets to it, makes a strong throw. It's Trevor's throw is up. He's trying to put a little air underneath it to get it on time. Chris Woodward with 2 outs. You're going to press your base runners. You're going to take a chance. You're going to try to be aggressive.
Kemp has driven in both Dodger runs. Here's Bellinger. Dodgers with 2 runs. That matches their total for the first 2 games against the Rockies. Tyler Anderson and Herman Marquez were outstanding. Buddy Black saying before the game it may be the single best outing for each of those guys since arriving in the big leagues. Dodgers have seen enough of Herman. His last 2 starts at Dodger Stadium, both this year. 15 innings, 4 hits allowed. Only 3 other pitchers who've ever done that against the Dodgers, back-to-back, 7+ innings, allowing 2 hits or less. That's high.
And it might surprise you if you look at the Dodgers as a unit. They rank as one of the worst teams in baseball average against fastballs. 28th in baseball. They're a little bit near the bottom of the pack in fastballs over 94 miles an hour.
2-2. Yeah, a little bit surprising. The 3 other pitchers, by the way, done what Herman has done. 2 straight outings at Dodger Stadium. 7+ innings, allowing 2 hits or less. Noah Lowry, Kurt Schilling, and the former Cub Carlos Zambrano. 2-2 and a ground ball to first. Easy play for Desmond. In the inning, a 2-out double by Kemp, and the Dodgers within a run of the Rockies as we go to the 4th. Favorite Southern California theme park: Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, or Magic Mountain? Well, our director, Erica Ferraro, was at Disneyland yesterday.
Okay.
So I think Erica would vote for Disneyland. I'm going to vote for Disneyland.
How can you not vote for Disneyland? Magic Mountain's really fun. It's like Elitch Gardens in Denver, maybe just a little more rides. That one makes me get nauseous just thinking about it. Knott's Berry Farm, great place for Halloween. That's the place to go for Halloween. You don't go to Disneyland for Halloween.
Not a good idea?
No.
Bad idea.
Knott's Berry Farm for
Hey,
Halloween.
we're going to be in Anaheim shortly. You want to go to Disneyland?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Here
I'll
we
make
go.
you a hat. I'll get your name engraved. You know, they do it the
I
cursive.
want to do everything. We'll do everything. I was there a couple years ago. Gabe, my youngest, we went. Fun. Good day. Love waiting on the lines. Tom Murphy at the plate. 1-2.
So when I played in Japan, there's Tokyo Disneyland. And it's the exact same Disneyland, just shrunk. It's in a smaller footprint. Everything's the same. Rides are the same.
Five strikeouts for Stripling as he gets Murphy. That'll bring up Bettis. Bettis, for some reason right now, is walking back toward the Rockies dugout. What's going on?
Well, that's strange.
Pat Valleca is going to hit for Bettis. So something must have happened to Chad. So I wondered, did he develop
Hitter
a
number
blister?
4, Pat
He's
Valleca.
had that issue a couple times this year where he had as a training staff phrased it, a hot spot on his finger. We haven't seen, we didn't see last inning anything occur with Chad when he threw a pitch.
I don't see a trainer sitting by him looking at.
Chris Russin will pitch for the Rockies next inning. The Rockies, along with the Houston Astros, the only two teams in baseball at this point in the season to have not used anybody other than their original starting five. That is going to change on Tuesday when John Gray is replaced by Antonio Senzatella. According to Buddy, we hope whatever the reason that Chad has to be removed is not a serious one. So Valleca, who hit a home run to give the Rockies a 1-0 lead Friday night for Tyler Anderson, pops this one up right side, and this is going to have to be caught by Muncy. Bellinger was really battling the sun. I don't know if he would have been able to make the catch.
Second baseman DJ LeMahieu.
2 outs, nobody on. DJ a single and a run scored last inning.
Need to get Jenny to find out what happened.
Rockies made another move at the minor league level of note. They called Peter Lambert from Hartford to Albuquerque. Lambert's one of the Rockies' top pitching prospects. He's having a terrific first half in Hartford. And so now he graduates within a step of the big leagues. Two balls and a strike. Lambert's a young kid who's moved quickly. He was a high school draft pick.
Well, he's a strike thrower. He throws a lot of strikes. He doesn't walk a lot.
And a real high aptitude for pitching. And this is on the ground to Taylor. And the Rockies go in order. We'll try to find out what has transpired with Chad Bettis. Rockies leading 3-2, middle of 4. Chris Russin will take over for Colorado. Rockies News and Notes are brought to you by All Copy. We're talking about the Yard Goats. 6 Yard Goats named to the Eastern League All-Star team. Brendan Rodgers, the Rockies' top prospect. Jonathan Daza, Sam Hilliard, good-looking outfielder. Peter Lambert, who's going to graduate, as we just said, to Albuquerque for his next start. And a couple of pitchers, so congrats to those gentlemen. Chris Russin, last couple of appearances have been very good. The Rockies bullpen is going to have to eat up 6 innings now. They're well rested after the 2 starts by Herman and Tyler Anderson.
And Chris Russin in his last appearance really started to find that changeup. We were talking about that in San Francisco, that when you get an extended amount of time for Chris to just work through it, because he's had mechanical issues, he's had release point issues that he's been trying to feel. And that last outing for Chris might have put him in a good spot.
Bettis goes 3 innings, allows 2 runs, both earned, just 2 hits. He did walk 2 as Muncy both times. And he had a couple of strikeouts. 1-1 on Puig.
Well, today's a Puig Bank giveaway. I'm so excited to get one.
Did you get one?
I got one. But I'm going to have to give it away to a child, one of my favorites. So I'm going to have to pick between my 2 kids. And
why don't you get a second one?
well, I like to make him earn it. This thing's sweet.
That's foul. I'm guessing that's a really nice play down the line. That's how you play the carom, Spilly. We used to yell at you for playing the carom poorly. That's how you play the carom.
I wasn't good at it.
Watch this. Look at the footwork.
Oh, yes. Use your top hand to protect your face. Make a nice play.
The Puig Bank pops this one in foul ground, and Murphy
puts it away in the bank.
Yeah.
Check this thing out. So here's the Puig Bank. And if I can get it up, his tongue's sticking out. You see that? His tongue's sticking out, and I think you put it in here, and there goes your coin. He steals it.
First slide.
It's sweet.
I love it.
This thing's great.
Wow.
So I'm gonna have to pick which child's my favorite.
You gotta get a
right now.
second one. Stop.
All right.
You gotta get 2.
It's great.
Why don't you get 3 and then you can have one also? I don't think Stacy's using that. But
No, she won't use the Puig Bank.
1 out, Jock Peterson at the plate. Peterson poked a single to left his first time. There's a strike. Rockies will stay in the division when they go home. It's going to be a brief stay at home. Can't really unpack. They'll take on the Giants Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, and then head to Seattle. Have an off day in Seattle Thursday. Play a weekend set against the Mariners, then back home. 1-2. Dodgers stay put. Clint Hurdle and the Pirates are coming to town. Things have tightened up a little bit in that NL West because the Giants the last 2 days have defeated the Diamondbacks. That's in foul ground, fortunately. No man's land down the left field line. You have to win inside the division. We've talked a lot about it. We talk about it every year, and this year it is absolutely imperative because the Rockies begin the day in 4th place in the West, just 6 back. Arizona has the best record inside the division. The Giants are 3 games above 500 inside the division. The Dodgers are 500. The Rockies right now 16-20. At the end of the year, when we're looking at these numbers in September, the Rockies are going to need to be well over 500 in that category if they hope to win the National League West. There's just no other equation that really works. I mean, it'd be highly unlikely to, you play 800 ball against everybody else. Okay. But you play so many games inside the division. 2-2, and this ball is well hit to right. Cargo will not be able to hold Peterson to a single. Peterson runs well, so it's a one-out double.
Enjoy flexibility with the Ballpark Pass. A discounted ticket package lets you choose the games that fit your schedule and redeem from your phone right up until first pitch.
Barnes struck out his initial at bat. Tying run at second, one out. Barnes hits out of the 8th spot in the lineup. He takes strike one. Fastball down and away at 91. This was one of the many areas that Chris Russin excelled in last year. Multi-inning, mid-game relief. And another strike, 0-2.
And I like how Chris Russin, along the edges, you can be aggressive in the strike zone, but also understand you have a free base at first. You have the pitcher spot coming up. You can set up a double play potentially. Stripling will put the ball in play. He made two great pitchers' pitches. Now he has a chance to put them away.
Now Chris Russin, Spilly, as you know, has immense respect from his teammates by how he goes about his business, not just how he competes when he's in front of 35 or 40,000, but what he's doing in between appearances, his whole demeanor in the clubhouse. He's all business when he checks in.
Whenever you see a guy that's grinding like Chris has, especially given the fact that last year he ranks up there in top 5 or 6 high leverage pitchers in baseball.
0-2, and that's fouled off.
You'll hear about on a year, off a year with relievers. You hear it all the time. It's very hard for a reliever to have a steady career where they just go the entire way having a sub-2 ERA. It doesn't happen. Relievers, because of the amount of innings pitched that they throw, can have a blow up and their ERA will look sideways. And for Chris, when he was going through some of the mechanical problems, he was constantly working and grinding through it. And to your point, his teammates appreciate that type of effort.
Yeah, there's a relative few that you go, boy, year in and year out. Wade Davis has been one of those guys year in and year out. He's been outstanding. Kenley Jansen, year in and year out. They're typically the guys who close. Craig Kimbrell. Strike 3 on the corner. So Russin gets that second out with Peterson standing at second base, and now
Number 68, Ross Stripling.
face the pitcher, Ross Stripling. Change up.
Look at how it runs back. Typically a left-handed changeup, you'll get fade. It'll move away from the right-handed hitters and fade into the left-handed batter's box. That one almost came back. It's good action.
Stripling lines this to right, and it is foul. A lot of people out of their chairs here in Los Angeles. The bat looked like it was ticketed to go down the right field line and tie up the ball game. Stripling hit the ball in the 5.5 hole his first time up, and if not for a wonderful play by Trevor Story, he would have had a base hit. It's more like a pitcher swing. 0-2.
Told you he's a multi-sport athlete in high school, and prior to him going to Texas A&M, he really wanted to go for school. He wanted an education. He walked on at A&M.
Ground ball. This is cut off by Nolan, and a throw out Stripling. Peterson, a one-out double. He's left at second base. Good first inning from Chris Russin. We go to the fifth. The Rockies up 3-2.
This is What's in the Box, presented by
Today he turns 32. So very cool for Charlie Blackmon. Getting an off day, that's what Bud Black said was his birthday present, to give Charlie a little bit of a mental rest and get off his feet, but you never know if he might come in as the offensive closer in this game. I got the chance to ask some of his teammates what they might be getting for Charlie Blackmon's birthday.
Probably give him a maybe a tractor. That's something that I can see him really enjoying, something that's along those lines of being outdoors, or a lawnmower.
Would you get the most interesting man in the world? I don't know. You can go so many directions with that. He's a big hunter and fisher, so you can get something in a fisherman, so you can get something in that direction. You can get him some hair care products for his beard. So many things you can get.
So many good things. Charlie Blackmon gave himself a birthday present one year. In fact, it was 2011. He hit a home run at Coors Field. It wasn't just any home run. The first home run of his career, it happened in a pinch hit situation. So perhaps as a pinch hitter here at Dodger Stadium, there's another home run for him. Funny story to that one, Alana Rizzo, the former Rockies sideline reporter who's now with the Dodgers, interviewed him after the game and asked Charlie where he's going to put that baseball, and he said, "In my box of cool stuff." I wonder how big that box is getting, you guys.
Probably, Jenny, we know him pretty well. Probably not very large, because Charlie, that's just not Charlie, right? To have a bunch of things. Though the funniest lines he delivers is to the media after the game, and in particular when he has a big game. He has 3 for 4 with a couple of home runs. We've seen a bunch of that, right? As Parra steps in. Parra is 2 for 2, by the way. Charlie will say, "Yeah, today I was a good baseball player."
Yeah.
Not today I had a good day. Today things went well. Today I saw the ball well. Yeah, today was a lot of fun. No, today I was a good baseball player. Or collectively, you hear him say this all the time, we played good baseball today. We were a good baseball team today. So he throws baseball in everything. It's funny. And conversely, we've heard Charlie say, "Today I was a bad baseball player today."
Yeah, that happens. You're
Happens
more
to
often,
everybody.
you're more often a bad baseball player over a course of 162 games than you are a good baseball player.
There are other ways to describe it. This is grabbed by Bellinger. 1 out. So Parra retired. That'll bring up Nolan Arenado, who many days is a really good baseball player.
third baseman Nolan Arenado.
It's funny, my daughter yesterday, I was talking to her, and they're up in the mountains. They're up in Vail. It's beautiful right now. She said, "Hey, tomorrow's Charlie's Blackman's birthday." I was like, "How do you know that?" And she goes, "I just know." I was like, "No, seriously, how do you know it?" She's like, "Because I like looking at all the Rockies baseball cards." She doesn't look at the stats, home runs, or batting average. She looks at birth dates.
Really? It's going to be, Kira's going to be a special math student then, right?
She'll work for Hallmark.
She'll have her old card line. Back with Hallmark.
She knows every Rockies player's birthday.
1-1 on Nolan. Looking at the back of the baseball card. It's the first time I realized this is many years ago. I said, you know what, Huey, you're older than me.
Like my favorite thing as a kid, and I'm sure many of the fans watching today's game, they used to love just collecting baseball cards and reading where their hometown, and sometimes there's a good nugget.
Growing up, the cool thing was oftentimes in that upper right-hand corner of the Topps cards, it said what the player, this is going to sound really comical, said what the player did in the offseason.
Yeah, his job.
His job. This ball's well hit to center field. Going back is Peterson, and he can't get it. Home run, Nolan Arenado. Make it 4-2 Colorado. Number 21. Second in the series for Arenado.
Right fielder Carlos Gonzalez.
The first curveball Stripling is given up for a home run in 2018, and Nolan clicked him. Had the finish, high finish, he squared it up, but he had to pay attention. The ball's not been carried great to center field. Jock giving his best effort to try to rob Nolan.
Cargo's going to ground out 6-3, 2 outs.
How about this? Ross Stripling came into today's game, 162 batting average, no home runs given up on the curveball. Subaru Supermo, you see where Nolan caught it. Out in front, Stripling knew it.
So strong. 2 ribbies today for Arenado. Trevor, who's at the plate, has 1, so they're both tied with 59 RBIs to lead the club, be among the major league leaders in that coveted department. Rockies with 8 hits, the Dodgers with just 3. Last time up, Trevor went opposite field. Had a ground rule double to the right field corner to score Gerardo Parra. Stripling came into this ball game with a 1.98 ERA. Started the year in the bullpen because of injuries. He was called upon to move into the rotation. And he's had only 1 other start, and that was his first one in late April, in which he's given up 4 earned runs. Gave up 4 earned runs against Arizona at Chase Field in 4 innings. Since that time, a bunch of 0s, 1s, and 2s. In fact, there's only been 1 other game where he's given up 3, and that was 2 starts ago at Wrigley. He lost to the Cubs 4-0. He gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. The peripherals were great in that game also, though. 7 strikeouts, no walks. 2-2. And that's at Bellinger. In the inning, a home run from Nolan Arenado. And the Rockies have a 2-run lead again. It's 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning.
20,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, July 14th, will receive a Nolan Arenado walk-off cycle bobblehead courtesy of King Supers. They never made a bobblehead for me.
They didn't? You never had a bobblehead day?
Nope, not good enough. You gotta be good to get a bobblehead.
They could have done the Grand Salami bobblehead, no?
No. That would be sweet though, yeah. I can probably make one for myself.
Maybe we'll talk to whoever the powers would be are, and then we can do a 10-year, no, it's past the 10-year anniversary. We can do
it's
like,
2009. We did in 2009.
oh, it is 2009.
Yeah,
okay, so we do
year.
the 10-year anniversary of the Grand Slam. 0-2 on Chris Taylor. Second inning of work for Chris Russin. Still awaiting word as to why Chad Bettis had to leave after 3 innings of work. That's your Puig bobblehead day today. The Puigi Bank.
Puigi Bank.
How hard did they, whoever came up with that, and very clever, well done, in the Dodger marketing department. How long did they laugh when they threw that one out there? That'd be good, like 5-minute hearty laugh. Then go, let's do it.
I think it was, let's do a Puigi Bank. Yeah, ha 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 ha. And then it came like, what should we do? Is he hitting? No, stealing a base. That's great. And then when they really started hooting and hollering is when they decided to stick the tongue out.
And then have, you know, the
Sliding.
right. 0-2, 1-2, quick pitch.
Well, it's great because Chris Taylor has a leg kick very similar to Justin Turner. And what we're hoping for is nobody on base when Justin Turner comes to the plate to get another matchup. Russin and Turner go back and forth.
And that is strike 3. You'll get that matchup right now. Second strikeout for Russin.
So after doing the quick pitch, Russin goes back to his normal windup, which forces Taylor to be stuck in between. High cutter, Supermo, well received by Tom Murphy. It's even better when you throw a pitch at the top of the zone and the umpire calls it. Lance Barksdale behind the plate.
You know, if you can have the hands that can hood the top of the zone and work underneath the ball, ground up like an infielder. That's base hit up the middle for Muncy. He's been on 3 times. Work ground up with the pitches down in the zone.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
2 walks and a single for Muncy. And here comes Turner.
We might not be able to get the same matchup with the timing of Chris Russin out of the stretch, but assume this, that Chris Russin will try to do everything from slide step to a couple pickoffs at first and try to throw Turner in the leg kick off.
Turner, deep fly ball to center and a strikeout. And there's strike 1. Chris Russin just is using all of the tools in his toolbox to do what every pitcher tries to do. And the art of pitching is throwing off the timing of the guy with the bat in his hand. Why you change speeds, ball movement. Well, one of the ways he does it, in addition to the first 2, is to vary how he delivers the baseball to the plate.
And it's fantastic. Some guys that don't have the same leg kick of Turner aren't as affected by Russin's tactics, but Justin Turner with the big leg kick, if he gets the timing down, he can get the barrel in the zone, but Russin messes with it so much.
Two and 1. Rockies enter play in July, winners of 3 straight. They had winning months in April and May. June they were below 500. Finished at 11-16. And that's outside by the tiny bit, so it's 3-1 on Turner. And ball 4. Now 2 on for Matt Kemp, who's driven in both Dodger runs, an RBI ground out and a double to left. Now, the good thing about Kemp, you know how he's hurt the Rockies, he's hurt a lot of teams this year. But Matt certainly does not run like the kid who came out of the state of Oklahoma a decade or so ago. So if he hits one on the ground, a reasonably good chance at turning a double play. And that's outside. Ground ball through the left side, a base hit. Muncy around third, he'll score. This will be at least tried to be cut off by Arenado, and it gets through everybody, and that's costly. As the runners move to second and third. It's now 4-3. Kemp has driven in all 3 runs. He's had a great year. He did not have a great June. He had a very poor June, but he's starting July in excellent fashion for LA.
He hit 220 in the month of June with 6 home runs. This ball right out of the reach of Trevor Story in the Subaru Super Mode. As Gerardo comes up firing, no one tries to backhand it, it just gets past everybody.
You have to attach an error to the throw because it got through and allowed the runners to move up. So it's a single and an E7. And now you have Bellinger. Infield will play it back with 1 out. Tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. Bellinger's pulled the ball to Desmond twice in this game. And this will get the run home and tie the game at 4. The last time I've seen a game where there's been 4 RBI groundouts. Think about that throw getting through and how big it is. Kemp to third, and here is Yasiel Puig. Fly ball to center and a foul out to the catcher Murphy. 0-1 on Puig.
Dave Roberts was checking with Lance Barksdale, probably asking about Chris Rustin if he announced if he was pitching from the stretch or the windup. So I'm assuming Dave didn't see it happen.
Here's the 0-1. 1-1 on Puig, who's 1 for 7 in the series.
You're gonna look at that Gerardo Parra throw, and not to make excuses for him, but for a left fielder, you see a shortstop go down. Now, typically the shortstop will cover third. What I think Gerardo's thinking in his mind is, I'm going to try to make a throw to home. Then he realizes I should probably keep the double play in order.
Line to left, and it's caught out there by Parra. 2 runs in the 5th inning for the Dodgers, and we have a 4-4 game as we go to the 6th. Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. We're in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. The Rockies leading 4-4. The Rockies have won the first 2 in this series by a score of 3-1 Friday night, by a score of 3-1 on Saturday late afternoon. They've had leads of 3-1 today and 4-2. The Dodgers just picked up a couple runs in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Desmond, Raimel Tapia, and Tom Murphy in the 6th. And we just got word as to why Chad Bettis had to leave after 3 innings, and it's what we were speculating on. And again, the language from the trainer's room, a hot spot on that right middle finger. They didn't want it to develop into a blister. And it's something that has been a battle for Chad, evidently. He hasn't missed any time, but something that the Rockies have paid close attention to, so it doesn't develop into a blister. That's a strike. Think of Rich Hill and all he's gone through this year.
Well, and it's also why we noted today, we're like, hey, we haven't seen many changeups from Chad Bettis, and that might be one of the reasons why he shied away from that pitch.
Strike 3 on Desmond. That'll bring up Raimel Tapia. You can watch your favorite Isotope stars like Raimel make their journey to the big leagues with the Rockies. AT&T Sportsnet is your home for Rockies baseball all season long. It is available on most cable and satellite packages. Visit AT&TSportsnet.com for channel information. Tapia walk and a strikeout. Maybe a little over anxious in that 3rd inning at bat with runners at 1st and 3rd. He struck out on 3 pitches. Six strikeouts for Stripling. 2-0. Raimel's gotten big league time in 2016, big league time last year. This is his debut in 2018. And he's put up good numbers at the major league level, Spilly, a 283 hitter in 198 at bats. A couple home runs, driven in 19. 16 extra base hits. He's thrown out some stolen bases as well.
There's no question Tapia has the ability to put barrel to ball. It's getting an opportunity to play the outfield and in what position. And there's been times where you see a young player make some mistakes, base running, outfield mistakes. But it gets exposed at this level when you don't get an opportunity to play every day.
Tapia's doing his thing. Whenever he fouls a pitch off, that's to smell the wood. And he strikes out for the second time. 2 outs. That'll bring up Murphy.
Pitcher Tom Murphy.
It's pretty amazing when you see Ross Stripling's numbers on the season, especially given the fact that this wasn't a strikeout pitcher. Basically, he was a strikeout an inning, which is great. But this year, he's now at 96 strikeouts through about 83 innings.
Well, 5 of his 7 strikeouts have come in the bottom 3 of the order. He's gotten Murphy twice. Murphy's going to get him this time with a line single to left. Chris Russin is going to hit here.
Pitcher Chris Russin.
He's thrown 41 pitches today, which is a season high. The Rockies have the luxury today of actually having a 5-man position player bench because Tapia took the roster spot of John Gray yesterday. 0-1 on Chris, who swings the bat well by pitcher standards.
He can handle the bat. Well, and for Bud Black, it might just be one batter that Russin faces next inning because Jock Peterson leads off the 7th inning. Jock Peterson, a left-handed batter.
And Muncy flips it to Chris Taylor to end the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Rockies and Dodgers tied at 4. an all-new episode of The Club. We raise a glass to toast Chris Ionetta's second passion in Napa. Buddy Black takes us on a walk down memory lane in his old stomping grounds. We continue to celebrate 25 years of Rockies baseball with a man who's been a part of every single year. Now all that and Billy, all that
and more.
And much more. Today on The Club. You almost had it right. Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles, and the Rockies and Dodgers tied at 4 with Ryan Spilborghs and Jenny Kavnar and our entire AT&T Sportsnet crew. I'm Drew Goodman. It'll be Jock Peterson, Austin Barnes, and Ross Stripling scheduled. Rockies 4 runs, 8 hits, and an error. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for LA. Peterson a single and a double so far today.
Jock has those splits when you're looking at left-handed on left-handed. It's in 107 and 28 at bats.
He's an improved hitter this year. There were too many empty at bats in the past for Jock Peterson. Yeah, he'd hit some balls into the seats, but there were a lot of times he was dragging the bat back to the dugout. This year he's hitting above 260. His single came against Bettis, the double against Russin. One of the runs last inning against Chris unearned. Two and one. That is a fair ball. Desmond's got it, and Peterson is retired.
The first 10,000 through the gates for the Rockies-Mariners game on July 13th will receive a Dinger foam hat, courtesy of Xfinity. I want one.
You're like Mr. Promotion.
I might flip it over and wear it as a Dinger beard.
Now that you don't have one of your own.
I do miss him.
Austin Barnes has struck out twice in this affair. This is the 9th game between the Rockies and Dodgers this year. The Rockies have won 3, the Dodgers 5, and that's going to stay fair. Bunt single for Barnes. Great bunt.
That was a great bunt for Austin Barnes. 2 strikeouts, just wanted to put the ball in play. Chris Russin, a great athlete on the mound, but
hitting for the Dodgers, number 11.
Didn't fall over to the left side, to Nolan's side. Nolan hoping that the ball would roll foul, does not. Bud Black is going to go to his bullpen and make a change.
So Chris Russin will walk off. A man on in the 6th inning in a tie game with 1 out when we return. Austin Barnes at first with one out. The Rockies' upcoming home schedule is brought to you by Remax. It's a brief 3-game homestand. It's one series against the Giants. Big pitching matchup tomorrow. Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. Madison Bumgarner will go for San Francisco. Note a couple of start times are slightly different. Tuesday and Wednesday because of fireworks. The start time is 6 o'clock, 5:30 with the pregame show. Scott Oberg healthy again, and he's into the baseball game for the 18th time this year.
I think when we get the opportunity to watch Scott Oberg and seeing where the velocity is for him, forget it was a year ago that Oberg touched 101 here at Dodger Stadium.
Back-to-back pitches went 100 and then 101. Reminds me of what Dave Roberts said after the ball game when reflecting on the performance he endured from Germán Marquez. He said, "We knew he had a good arm. We didn't know he had 100 in there." Runner going, and swung on and missed. Murphy's throw to get him. Yes. Murphy cuts down Austin Barnes.
High leg kick from Oberg, but a good quick transfer and release from Tom Murphy. They're going to challenge. It's like Bud Black and home plate umpire Lance Barksdale are going to have a quick conversation.
I don't think the Dodgers would challenge that. He's clearly out. They're challenging
whether Logan Forsythe ran into Tom Murphy.
Two outs, nobody on, and a 1-1 count on Forsythe.
Well, Dave Roberts just trying to get some offense going for Logan Forsythe and trying to put some players in motion. I love seeing a hit and run.
Well, for the last couple years, it has been a spot that nobody's really been able to put their foot down. Second base for the Dodgers. Obviously, Utley, who's still with the Dodgers, is further along in his career, no longer a starter. Forsythe, they hoped would be that guy. They flirted with Brian Dozier and tried to bring Dozier here a couple years ago. Couldn't get a deal done with the Twins. Swung on and missed. And Forsythe, since coming from Tampa, has had a lot of empty at-bats. Good job by Oberg as he strikes out Forsythe. So we move on to the 7th. Top of the order for the Rockies coming. All right, Connor, thanks much. 4-4 here as the Rockies hitting the top of the 7th inning. DJ LeMahieu is 1 for 3 this afternoon, and he's going to face the left-handed sinker baller Scott Alexander. Stripling goes 6 innings, allows 4 runs on 9 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Rockies on Friday saw Alexander. Nolan took him deep. First pitch in there, strike 1. And DJ hits this slowly to short. Taylor with good hands. Gerardo Parra, single, a double, and a ground ball to first. Gerardo's first at bat. He lined the ball to left over the head of Justin Turner, and then this ball was really well hit toward the gap in left center. And on the dirt ball, Gerardo took third and eventually would score. Nolan got him home. Actually, let me correct that. That was Trevor who got him home ultimately. Nolan does have a couple RBIs in the game. One-oh. Outside.
You mentioned this the other day about Alexander prior to Nolan Arenado hitting a home run off of him. It's interesting when you see pitchers in the major leagues that count on one pitch. It's basically a sinker and a slider 90% of the time with the sinker.
It's even more unusual when it's a lefty who relies on a sinker. You don't see that nearly as frequently as a right-handed pitcher. Nolan looming on deck. And the Rockies trying to get back to 500. Welcome to July, everybody.
It's beautiful.
How about that?
It's really hot back east.
It'll be hot
really
at home
nice
the next few days. Muncy. 2 outs and Nolan coming up. We always talk about important stretches. Seems like we say that every other week, that this is an important stretch, this is an important homestand, an important road trip for various reasons. But, you know, July after a tough June. Here's what went well in June. The Rockies really scored. I mean, the bats had struggled the first 6 weeks of the season. June, they had the #1 offense in baseball in terms of runs scored. The pitching, as we know, particularly the pen struggle. The last few days, the pitching has been good. That needs to clearly continue and gain some momentum as the Rockies approach the All-Star break.
And I think that the rotation can gain traction from this road trip. And I do believe, since we've already seen him do it before, and there's times where you get into the end of June and you're either feeling really good or you're extremely tired. It's just one of those, it's that point of the season. You get that second wind, and I think for the rotation, it might be coming to that turn where they're getting that second wind.
Well, you hope, because we have seen this young rotation at times very good this year. A 10-game stretch earlier. So I'm very good on a number of occasions last year. Surprised the National League, helped lead the Rockies to the postseason. 3-1. It's really about day in and day out playing good baseball, consistently good baseball.
This game has been, offensively, it's been fun to watch. I think the mistakes for the Rockies of walk and an untimely error by Gerardo in left field. This has been a well-played ball game. And when you're taking on the Dodgers team that has this type of bullpen, that has this type of rotation, and the type of offense that if you walk, they'll run into a home run, you play tight games here. And I'd like to see the Rockies being able to manufacture these type of games because it'll transfer over once they get to Coors Field.
Cargo with 2 outs. Singled and scored in the second, 1 for 3. He was robbed of a double. His 3rd inning at bat. The infield in. Pulled one down the first base line, and Bellinger dove and made a great play. The runner on third to save a run and also get the out. 2-0. Cargo got a fastball, could not connect. It's 2-1.
Cargo 1 home run versus lefties this season, hitting .243.
And this is to Turner, to second, and that will end the inning. So the Rockies done in their half of the 7th. It's 4-4. Rockies have had a couple of different leads today, and several of the runs have scored the old-fashioned way. Just get a ball in play. RBI groundouts. The Rockies led 3-1 and 4-2. Their Story with his second hit of the day was a double to drive in a run, and then of course you got to have a no-run home run, right?
Got it. It's in LA.
So here we go with the bottom of the 7th inning in a 4-4 ball game. Top of the order for the Dodgers, Taylor, Muncy, and Turner. And Scott Oberg, who struck out Forsythe, the pinch hitter, to end the 6th inning, remains on the bump. And that's a slider for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Taylor. Hit by pitch back in the 1st and scored. That was against Chad Bettis. Chad could only go 3 innings. He left with, again, what's termed a hot spot on that right middle finger, something that he's dealt with this year. Taylor's 1 for 3. Also, on this road trip, we keep talking about the Rockies getting back to 500, sweeping the Dodgers. If they were to win today, it would be a 4-2 trip.
And it started out horribly. It's back to some of the heartbreak losses that they had in San Francisco.
Well,
Walk off.
When they lost that second game in San Francisco, the Rockies had lost 9 straight games inside the division. 3-2. This is a 3-inning game now. Find a way. That's another trend the Rockies want to turn around is their inability to score consistently late in games. That's a good start to the bottom of the 7th. Oberg with a heater to strike out Taylor. 1 out.
13, Max Muncy.
Oberg just reaches back and trusts his movement with the fastball. Blows Chris Taylor away on the super low.
I'll give you one, Billy. Go back to a conversation we have periodically and we had earlier in the ball game.
Okay.
Every good team, we always say, will have a couple, if not more, pleasant surprises, good stories, right? So far for the Dodgers, they've turned their season around behind Max Muncy, who most people have never heard of. Played a little bit with Oakland in 15 and 16. Was in the minors all last year. Ross Stripling, who started today for LA. Well, the guy on the hill for the Rockies, he's been in that bullpen the majority of the time the last couple of years, and you see glimpses of, wow, what a powerful arm, and a guy that could be potentially an upper echelon setup guy. Nothing notable really about the first half in the case of Scott Oberg. But if we're talking again in September and say, what a second half for Scott Oberg, where he really helps out that bullpen on the plus side, that could be a very good and beneficial story. 1-2, and this is on the ground, and it's going to get through. So Muncy, 2 hits and 2 walks. This guy's been unbelievable for LA.
He has an OPS over 1,000 on base plus slugging. Fastball up and in. Muncy gets a barrel to it. He sneaks it right past DJ and Ian. Now you got to be careful with Justin Turner, especially late in the game. This guy has a knack for getting the big hit.
Oh for 2 and a walk for Turner. 95 moved him off the plate. And it's 2-0. Got a little bit of the Penguin in him, doesn't he? Number 10.
He's not short. Ron Say is short. Short arms, short legs.
Ground ball to third, tough hop. And the Rockies still turn it over. That was an unbelievable play by Nolan. He had to retreat to pick up that hop. And if he does not have those soft hands, this is going to eat him up.
That's ridiculous. Look at DJ's turn on this side.
Yeah, low throw. He still made it happen. Great 5-4-3 double play.
All-Star voting ends Thursday. That's why you see Trevor's story. So go to Rockies.com/vote to vote for Arenado, Blackman, Trevor, and all of your favorite Rockies. Let's take a look at the double play to end the inning. Ridiculous play by some All-Stars. Justin Turner with an in-between hop to Nolan, who really fields it from behind his hip. Opens his hand up. Gives himself enough space with his glove to get it out. And then quickly makes a transfer to DJ that just turns it around.
And DJ's moving across that bag. Yeah, he's 6'4", has to bend down to his knees to pick that throw. And then the accurate throw, and didn't have, he didn't bend it, so all of a sudden it pulled Desmond off the bag. Daniel Hudson, who threw 2 innings yesterday, is on in the 8th inning here for LA. And it'll be Story, Desmond, and Tapia. 4-4. Top of 8. Daniel Hudson briefly started the year in Oklahoma City, veteran right-hander. The Rockies, especially the guys who've been around, are familiar with him from his days in Arizona.
Hudson's one of the rare pitchers that has had 2 Tommy John surgeries. Back-to-back Tommy Johns. Tyler Chatwood is another one of those pitchers now with the Chicago Cubs. But it's rare when you see a pitcher have it back-to-back.
Two strikes on Story. Single and a double this afternoon. In the air to left field, playable for Kemp. He got it just off the barrel.
First baseman.
That'll bring up Desmond. Desmond 1 for 3. RBI ground out his first time up in the ball game. Hit his 17th home run yesterday. 13 of the 17 out on the road. Hudson is probably the most consistently hard thrower that comes out of the bullpen. He and Yimi Garcia for LA.
Hudson's fastball average is 95 miles an hour.
And that is fouled off also.
Hudson's always had a bit of a crossfire, hides the ball well. And when you add some deception to high velocity, start racking up the strikeouts.
Adam Ottavino got the save yesterday. There's 97 fouled off.
You definitely want to find a way to score a run with some of the relievers not named Kenley Jansen.
Well, as it stands right now, you're going to get Jansen next inning. 2 outs, regardless of the score. Mel Tapia got the start in center field, gave the birthday boy Charlie Blackmon the first part of the day off. I heard Jenny use a term that Charlie mentioned to her earlier, and that was that today my job is to be the offensive closer. We may see Charlie yet. Tapia, 2 strikeouts and a walk today. And a ground ball to second for the Rockies. Go quietly in the 8th inning. Adam Ottavino will be on board next in a 4-4 game. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Papa John's, use the code ROXWIN for 50% off pizzas at papajohns.com the following day. And by Cheyenne Frontier Days. Log on to cfdrodeo.com for the full lineup. When you've been around a long time, as the Dodgers have, you have a lot of trophies.
They keep trying to get me for my song.
Look at some of the MVP awards in their collection. They have it in a hallway, the main hallway that leads to some of the high dollar tickets downstairs field level, and also in the hallway that leads to the Dodgers clubhouse. Matt Kemp, single, double, and an RBI ground out, facing Adam Ottavino. He's driven in 3 of the 4 for the Dodgers today. He has 50 RBIs now on the season. Now, it's been a great year for Ottavino. Without question, it should be an all-star year for Adam. League hitting just 124 against him. Got the save again yesterday. And that slider's off the plate, 1-1.
It's always concerning when you have a player coming off of a oblique injury, not to overwork him, but because of the communication between Bud and Ottavino, he's saying he's good to go all the time.
This ball well hit to center field. Tapia to the wall, gone. Kemp has done it again against the Rockies. It's a 4 RBI day for Matt Kemp, and the Dodgers take an 8th inning 5-4 lead.
14th home run of the season for Matt Kemp. Gets a fastball that runs back out over the middle. For Matt Kemp, this was an afterthought for the Dodgers when they brought him back from the Atlanta Braves. Talk about something that's brought a different attitude, came back in shape. Last year put on quite some weight in Atlanta as he was hurt. New attitude for him in Los Angeles his second time around.
has now hit 45 career home runs against the Rockies. He ties Sammy Sosa. Only Barry Bonds has hit more. Here's the 1-0 to Bellinger, and it's 1-1. Kemp with 4 at-bats today, and he's driven in a run in all 4 at-bats. The right side ground ball in the first, RBI double in the third, RBI single in the fifth, and the home run. Two and one. Bellinger home run cut. 2-2.
Dodgers are 37-1 if they have a lead after 8 innings.
And Bellinger is gone.
There's still tickets available for the best fireworks show in town this summer on July 4th, courtesy of Coca-Cola and King Soopers, following the game versus the San Francisco Giants.
Hey, while we have a moment, I want to congratulate a longtime member of our crew on his upcoming nuptials to Danielle. Nick B. Getting married on Tuesday. Congrats, Nick.
It's awesome.
Yasiel Puig, slider, swung on and missed. You know who's his best man?
Who?
You're never going to guess.
I'm not going to get it.
Dougie.
Dougie?
Yeah.
Good best man to have. He's like your best man.
There's another strike. Fastball's outside. 1-2. We mentioned that the Rockies were giving the birthday boy Charlie Blackmon a day off. It will not be a full day off. You're going to see Charlie, would be my guess, in that 9th inning with the Rockies having 8, 9, and 1. This is knocked down by Parra. Probably will be a straight double, just where it was hit.
Dodgers are taking some pretty good swings against Otto today. Slider that doesn't bite. It's going to be a double. No error on Gerardo and left.
So Ottavino will face Jock Peterson now. It's hard to score against Kenley Jansen. You want to keep this thing a 1-run game. Give the Rockies a fighting chance in the top of the 9th. That double, the hits are all even at 9 for what that's worth. Strike one.
Ottavino slowing it down, trying to gather himself.
Two and one. Two and two. Yasmani Grandal's going to pinch hit for Austin Barnes. Left-handed bat. Grandal, a switch hitter.
This tells from the swings from the Dodgers. Dodgers are sitting middle portion of the plate. They're not looking just fastball or slider. And for Ottavino, location for those two pitches today have been left up. The one to Kemp, ran back with a center cut fastball.
Ground ball toward the hole. DJ slides, can't get it out of his glove though.
He's going
and
home.
now going home, safe at the plate. Puig took advantage of the Rockies napping. And now it's a two-run Dodger lead. A daring play by Puig, and it pays off. 6-4 LA.
It's a great play from DJ, ranging to his left. He slides, grabs it, tries to find the ball, then he tries to get it to Ian. As soon as he flips it to Ian, watching Yasiel Puig, who's known as the wild horse, he takes his gamble. This is on Puig. This is not Chris Wood, where he's paying attention, keeping his eye up. As soon as he flipped it up, he took off.
Yeah, it was not so much that the Rockies fell asleep. He took advantage of DJ tossing the ball to Ian, and that's what you're going to do. You're not going to throw the ball typically to the pitcher from where DJ was. Make sure you don't have an errant throw. So it was a
very
heady play, a gutsy play by Puig. And it pays off for the Dodgers. They have a two-run lead now.
Does Jock get an RBI for that?
No.
There's Puig reading DJ, and for DJ, there's a lot he can do just because the slide forced his body weight on the ground. He's stuck on his backside. Puig is reading that.
And you just don't expect it. I mean, you give Puig credit. I mean, you know, at first, when you see that happen, you think, okay, somebody fell asleep. But when you watch it unfold from the angle we provided, it's really just an outstanding play by Puig.
He kept his feet moving. He kept his eye on the baseball.
DJ's on his backside. And he does the right thing, get it to somebody who's upright in Desmond. And from his body position, it's going to be hard to fire a dart at him. 1-2 on Grandal.
Last pitch missing the Subaru strike zone.
With the save yesterday and 20-plus pitches today, this will take Adam Ottavino out of the equation most likely tomorrow. One and two on Grandal. Outside, 2-2. Through the middle of the diamond and into right center field. Peterson to third. On the base hit by Grandal.
This just sneaks through, 2 strikes down in the zone. You can tell that the slider's not biting quite as much for Otto today. Right out of the reach of Trevor. Bud Black is going to come out.
Well, Utley's going to pinch hit. And given now the circumstances, we'll put any more wear and tear on Adam Ottavino. Dodgers have scored 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Comparison of the 2 starters, Chad Bettis could go only 3 innings, unfortunately. He had that hot spot again on the right middle finger, something he's dealt with on a couple of occasions this year. Ross Stripling went 6 innings and allowed 4 runs on 9 hits. The Dodgers have come from behind on 2 occasions, and they now lead at 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. 4 hits against Adam Ottavino in the inning. The leadoff man, Matt Kemp, homered. And then a double by Puig and a couple of singles, and now Mike Dunn will take over first and third. The pinch hitter in the 9th spot is Chase Utley. Well, actually, Utley now has been burned, and Kike Hernandez will take swings here in the 9th spot. So Utley is burned, and the last man on the bench for Dave Roberts will be utilized, Kike Hernandez, who's normally a starter.
This will be Mike Dunn's first appearance since going on the disabled list. His last appearance came back in Cincinnati.
And cut fastball on the outside corner at 91 for a strike. Here's the numbers on Mike. It's been a rough ride so far this year. But hopefully the downtime for Mike, he's able to turn some things around here as the calendar has moved into July. 17 walks.
Well, and if you think of the nature of the injury that Mike Dunn had, a rhomboid strain, you know, you can usually attest that to, hey, there's usually mechanical feels and guys get outside of what they normally do so they can alleviate some of the pain that they're feeling. Any sort of arm or shoulder injury to pay attention to.
Mike ahead of Hernandez, 2 strikes. Peterson at third, Grandal at first with 1 out. High pop up. Nolan will handle it. And Dunn on 3 pitches gets the 2nd out. And that'll bring up Chris Taylor.
Shortstop, number 3, Chris Taylor.
Taylor's 0 for 3, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 1st inning. The Rockies in the 9th against Kenley Jansen have Murphy, the pitcher spot, and then DJ. They have on their bench Blackman, Cuevas, Iannetta, Tony Walters. They used Pat Valleca earlier in the game. 0-1. Well located, just inside. 1-1. Good to see some 92s and 93s from Mike, because before the DL stint, it was 88 to 90, and like he really had to effort to get the ball to 90. He's not, you know, he's not a 95+ guy, but you would know better than anybody, Spilly. There's a difference between 88 and 92, 93.
Oh, there's no question. And it just changes how hitters respect the fastball, whether they can sit on an off-speed pitch. Mike Dunn's best secondary pitch is a good slider. And if you're throwing 88 miles an hour, that slider becomes great hitting.
Mike Dunn, the former Marlin. 2-1 count on Taylor. And that's a good slider right there. Well located. Good late movement. 2-2.
Looking at some of the numbers for Kenley Jansen, who the Rockies will face, he's given up multiple runs a handful of times this year. Early in the season, though. Once against Arizona Diamondbacks, gave up 3 earned runs. And against the Padres, gave up 2.
Yeah, he's been on a roll lately, so the other way looking at it, he's due for a little correction. The pickoff, and now you got to worry about that guy on third, Jock Peterson. Desi handles it right, and a tackle him at the 14-yard line. Slap him on the backside, inning over. That goes tackle or
It's
just a
open
put
field.
out?
No, it's an open field tackle.
Great open field tackle. In the inning, a home run by Kemp, and then Puig would score. And the Dodgers now have a 6-4 lead as we go to the 9th inning. It's worthy of another look. Tommy Murphy's going to lead it off, and then after Charlie, it'll be the top of the order. John Peterson moves to left field from center field. Kike Hernandez goes to center. Matt Kemp comes out of the ball game. Dave Roberts does this on a daily basis when the Dodgers have a late lead. They're up 6-4 after scoring 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies do have a 9th inning come from behind victory on this trip. It came in San Francisco. It's their first of the year. Jansen among the saves leaders in the National League. Wade Davis and the Padres' Brad Hand leading the league currently. Murphy 1 for 3. And first pitch is inside, ball 1. The Rockies trying to turn around a trend of struggling late in games. They had 4 runs in this game in the first 5 innings. They've had 2 base runners since the 5th. A single by Murphy with 2 outs in the 6th and a 2-out walk to Nolan in the 7th. That's it.
For Kenley Jansen, there were some concerns early in the year about his arm. Fastball velocity was down. Last pitch 89 miles an hour. When he's at his best, the cutter's around 93 to 94 miles an hour.
Spilly, you face him. Guys just don't pick him up.
You don't pick it up. It's a natural cut on his fastball. You don't see it. And there's enough deception. This is a former catcher. A little bit of a short arm. Some of the greatest closers of all time are former catchers. Trevor Hoffman.
Well, he's a mountain of a man. He has that significant leg kick for a second that kind of hangs out. And then you're trying to find the baseball. Guys just do not have success against him. He has 251 career saves. Murphy trying to reach. That run that Puig scored so big. 2-2. One out now to bring up Charlie, who wants tacos. Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 in a game. Blackman with 1 out will pinch hit. Pitcher's spot. First pitch strike on the outside portion of the plate. 1 strike on Charlie. A rare day off for Blackman. As you see, 2 for 10 matching up with the longtime Dodger closer. Seems like they pretty much went from Gagne to Jansen. This is lifted to Puig and right.
I guess it's fitting on a day where they gave 40,000 Puigy Banks.
Second baseman number 9, DJ
The
LeMahieu.
biggest run of the day was stolen at home plate by Yasiel Puig.
Yeah. I think that's an apt description. 2 outs, LeMahieu, 1 for 4 today. You know, the Rockies, you look at it from spinning it positively. If they're unable to produce a rally here with 2 outs, you still say, all right, you come to LA and you win 2 out of 3. You go 3-3 on this trip. You win 3 in a row. You get 2 great pitching performances from Anderson and Marcus. But this game is also somewhat emblematic of what they've done in the first half. Some early offense and then nothing in the latter portion of the game offensively. And the other team is able to catch up and in this case go ahead.
Especially with how the Rockies went about scoring those runs early. We were raving about the type of offense, singles, moving, being aggressive with the base running.
Well, Spill, you had 8 hits, 4 runs in the first 5 innings. The Rockies have 1 hit since then. DJ is behind 1-2.
and the par error. I mean, it just again goes to show how important it is to play clean baseball against a good team.
The afternoon. The Dodgers come from behind and they win the ball game 6-4 today in LA. Snaps a little 3-game winning streak for the Rockies. So they go 3-3 on their sojourn to California. They do take 2 of 3 in Los Angeles, but they could not return to 500. They are 41-43 as they return home to take on the Giants tomorrow. The Dodgers improved to 44-39 in the competitive National League West. Daniel Hudson will get the victory. Adam Ottavino will take the loss, the save to Kenley Jansen, his 22nd of the year. Time to get it to our Denver studios. Here's Connor McGahey. Connor?